One.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session. Can we say a word of prayer before we start properly? In Jesus' name, oh God, we thank you for the opportunity to have gathered here to talk about this and encourage one or two people out there. We pray you come and have your way and take control of this program, that at the end of the day, we'll have every cause to name. For in Jesus Christ's name we've prayed. Amen. Amen. Yeah, you're all welcome to this career debugging session. And we're going to be, I believe we're all tech professionals. So we're going to be talking about our journeys in tech and try to demystify every mystery out there as much as possible about tech from our experiences and other things we'll be seeing here. So quickly, I'll start with the introduction. So we're going to take it this way. So we'll say our names, we'll say our role, and then where we work. That is optional if you want to say it. If for privacy reasons you don't want to say that, is still okay. And then in simple terms, you're going to say what you do, right? And then say one fun fact about yourself. So I'll go first. I'll take the lead, and then we'll go from the next person by my left. Yeah, that way. So my name is Gus Favor. I work as a data engineer with Statista. And in simple terms, I build and manage processes. I don't want to say pipelines. I build and manage processes that extract, process, and store data. So that is what I do as a data engineer in simple terms. And one fun fact about me, I'm a wannabe chess grandmaster. Wannabe. That's one fun fact about me. So we'll go to the next person. So your name, your role, where you work, and in simple terms, what your role is about, and one fun fact about yourself.
All right. So my name is Oluwapelmi, and I'm a software engineer at Goodbytes. And Goodbytes is just about building robotic autonomous kitchen. And so what I do is mostly I work as a backend engineer. Also lead a team of engineers to build softwares for the gastronomy industry. So, in simple terms, everything around orders, payments, and whatsoever you have in that sector. And fun fact about me, I love playing video games. But since I don't have so much time playing it, I watch people playing it. So, if you see
Interesting.
people uploading video games playtime on YouTube, it's for people like me.
Wow.
Interesting.
Interesting. Okay, so
All right, hi everyone. It's good to be here. My name is Itunu. I'm a data analyst, and what I do, I am responsible for helping every company know like the state of the business. And in cases where we have failures, I also provide reasons as to why they are those failures, successes as well, and also help the company know where they can be. So I can also predict the future. Um, fun fact. Fun fact is I actually wanted to be a doctor,
wow.
but I actually failed biology.
Wow. Biology without medicine without biology. Okay.
But yeah.
Just to interject a little, I feel that's a good compromise. Medicine without biology equal to tech, right? Yeah.
Deep.
Okay, so next question.
I'm Oyewale. I'm also a software engineer, and I work primarily in fintech. So basically, my job is to make sure that your account balance is your account balance in the
Wow.
real sense.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
And also, most of the things I also work on also do has to do with if you can also take credit based on your transaction data, or let me say based on your account balance with fintech company. Yeah. So I work with a company called Cla. It's a bank in Mexico.
Nice. You missed the fun fact.
Fun fact about me. Do I have a fun fact? Yeah, football. I love playing football. I love watching football. I love coaching football.
Wow.
And you
Coach.
play the guitar. I don't think you talked about
Nice.
I know I don't play the guitar again, so it's no longer a fun fact.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Thanks very much for the introduction. Yeah. Tech Bros and Texas. It's good to have you all here once again. So, so maybe before I even go to to the first question I had in mind, right? We are all in tech. First of all, how long have you been working in tech?
For me, in Germany, it's probably 5 to 6 years if I add what I've spent during the my study period.
Oh,
So, but professionally in Germany, it's 4 years already.
okay, okay. Yeah, so before I go to the others with that, so in this year, 4 years, so what was your journey like? Can you share briefly with us how you got into tech? What was it like for you?
So I would say let's go back to the beginning. And I would say my first introduction to, let me say, programming, it was when I was doing my BSc. And since I come from the background of electrical engineering, so the introduction was something around MATLAB, which is like a software for engineers. And I fell in love with that, and the next step I took was to learn Java, which I didn't understand anything that was going on there because, of course, I didn't really know what was going on there. But then I got introduced to Python while taking some Coursera course on electrical engineering. But from there, I came to Germany, and most of my master's work was done on Python, and this was where I started falling more in love with Python, and then decided to verge into the software development phase. So most of it was self-learning, and I would say I'm a self-taught software engineer, and
Interesting.
that's how I got into backend engineering and all that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, something you said. So you actually got introduced to Python during your BSc, not during your
Yes.
masters. Okay, yeah. Thanks a lot. When you got in, was there anything that surprised you? Did you have any? Was there anything you thought you were going to see on the job that it wasn't really that way when you got in? Was there any surprise?
Oh, you mean when I got
Yeah,
started
yeah.
working? The truth is, when you learn or when you go through boot camps, what you learn is usually just the foundation of what you experience while working. So it's always a totally different ball game once you get into the industry. It's same with, I want to believe it's same with any career. What you learn in school is usually quite different from when you start working with this knowledge. So it was more intense. There was always something new to learn, and that has been the story.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so I'll move over to you, Itunu. So was there? Can you briefly also share with us your experience, how you got into tech, or if you've always been in tech from when you were born or something, how you got into tech, and then if there was any surprises along the way during your journey.
Okay, so if you know, I have a background in mathematics, and so when I was doing my master's degree in statistics, I got introduced to the data analytics career, and we first started with learning R, and of course you get to learn everything that has to do with maybe binomial distribution, all of those things, and you really don't even know how to apply them. And then I had this lecturer then who came from the US, and he was the one who kind of told us a lot about data analytics, data science, and that was where I got introduced to it. And after that, I just decided to look for opportunities in the line, and that was how I got introduced to the data analytics space. And I've been working in the data space for a little over 6 years now. I started off in Nigeria,
Okay.
and I moved to Germany like 4 years ago.
Mhm.
And surprises so far. Honestly, I actually thought it was about tools. I thought it was about learning Power BI. Thought it was just everything that had to do with building graphs, because that was what we were not like told in school. But when you have to do whatever you're doing, you have to just, maybe you're building a line chart or you're building a pie chart and all of those. But I thought it was just about building charts basically. But when I joined, I saw that you have to sharpen your presentation skills. You have to learn to face customers and talk about findings. You have to be able to. I started off in a consulting firm, So I had to really do lots of proof of concept, that's POCs, to companies. And that was not, it wasn't something that I was told that I had to do a lot of workshops for people. And then starting off my career also, gave me the knowledge that it was beyond dashboarding. You had to understand the business. And without the business, you can't really, you know, build any dashboard, basically. I think that was a surprise for me.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, something I got from what you said is it's not just about tools. It's not just about Python, R, and all of this. It's about understanding the business. Yeah, and yeah, that's powerful. That's deep. Yeah. So Yewali, yeah, Yewali, can you also share with us what the journey has been like for you, and also how long you've been working in tech?
I think my journey is quite similar to his, and that's also because I studied chemical engineering for my bachelor's back in Nigeria. And for me, it was more so when you are studying something, there is the part that you find very interesting the most. And for me, it was more like process automation. Then I started talking to people. Then you're like, okay, you need to learn how to program. So I started learning how to program with Pascal, with Fortran. Then I settled on MATLAB, just like you, and I started building those applications. Then I was lucky enough that I have a lot of friends that are studying computer science. So I also learned Java, just like you. Yeah, it makes sense a bit. Part of it doesn't make sense. Then I switched to PHP. It's another program language. But afterwards, my core introduction to tech was actually trying to make money from all of those things.
Sorry, before you continue, you were learning all of this during your bachelor, you said?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. So we were taught as part of the school curriculum Pascal Pascal from other students. Fortran we were taught in school. Java I learned outside the school, but during my bachelor. And it was now that's my own entrance to tech. Now trying to teach people all of these things, doing projects for them, was how I started making money.
Tech is in the blood for you, I think.
Yeah, and so afterwards, the follow up for me was also more like entrepreneurship. So me and a couple of those guys tried to start a tech company back then. And after like a year or two, it was not really thriving. Then we step aside to pick a job. And so if I add everything together post studies, so it's like 14 years now.
Wow.
4 years in Nigeria and 10 years in Germany.
Wow.
Yeah, it's,
wow.
before you know it's
Wow.
it moves.
No, there are levels, there are depths, there are levels to this tech thing. There are people who
Honestly.
breathe tech.
No, it's a function of how long you've been in Germany, but yeah, that's just it for
Man,
me.
14 years.
Wow.
I feel like my story is a little different. So I didn't do anything tech in secondary, university, bachelor, or even my master's. So I didn't do anything tech. And for me, it's a very weird story, and it's a story I like to share. So I did my master's in mining and remediation management. My bachelor was in petroleum. So this is not tech. This is
Ooh.
I'm after the oil.
And you
That
came
has
to
been my
Germany.
interest.
Germany does not
Yeah.
have oil
I mean, I came to Germany. If you check it, oil is they are both what's it called, natural resources, right? Both oil and then the minerals and all of those, right? So it was like solid natural resources, but oil is like, yeah. But that was, by the way, during my master studies, I was searching for internships in mining in Germany, and a lot of the offers I saw was in data mining.
I was going to say, why didn't you go into that?
Yeah, so I was searching for opportunities in mining, and I have no background I didn't know any programming. I didn't know anything about ID or anything at all. So I was searching for internships in mining. I saw data mining. What is this? The thing is fit for air. What is this data mining? And then I got introduced. I started seeing Python. I just picked interest in it. Saw Python. I saw, yeah, all of these things, and yeah, I started learning Python on my own. Thank God for some YouTube videos, and yeah, that's just how I got into tech. And I tried my luck, and then I got my first role. So self-taught, no previous background, and yeah. So I think anyone hearing us out there, it doesn't also is a very good thing if you can start from your studies, from your bachelor or uni. But even if that's not the case, it's not a hopeless situation for you. And I've also seen a lot of people who didn't really have this background. There were people who even finished their master. I mean, myself, I started learning programming during my master's, right? But not part of my school, just a personal thing. But there were people who finished their masters and even waited 6 months, 1 year before they started, and they are still into tech. So I think it's like more about the determination, right?
Yeah,
And
I
all of
mean,
that.
listening to the three of you, one thing is like important here, the passion, because you were studying and then you just wanted to know about the tools that you learned, and same with you, and then you that did mining and all of a sudden found yourself in data. So I think eventually you just need to have the passion for this, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, that brings me to my next question. I'll start with you, Ewale. So, what's a common misconception you think people have about tech? I mean, there are people who think tech is for those with 5 heads and all of those things. Are there some kind of misconceptions you think people have that you would like to?
I mean, we've already mentioned one, which is basically you need to study software engineering before you enter tech, or you need to study statistics before you do anything in tech. So that's not the case. And of course, we have evidences there. And also, over the past, let's say, a decade or two, the importance of that, or let me say the correlation of you studying something around tech and working in tech gets narrower almost every day with the available tools we have. So I would say that's like the first misconception. You don't need to study software engineering. You don't need to study computer science to work in tech. Then the second thing is you also don't need to be a programmer to work in tech. There are a lot of roles in tech that has nothing to do with writing code. So you knowing how to write code is just something, or you knowing how to build even software application is just one thing. There are people that are in tech and their job is basically to sell the same thing. There are people in tech that their job is basically to write about the same thing. There are people that their job in tech is basically even to do content about the software you develop, and all of them work in tech. So there are many roles in tech that has nothing to do with programming. So if you are not a mathematician or or a statistics person like my sister, you can still be in tech.
Interesting, interesting. Something you said, you don't have to study it. You don't have to study software engineering, and you don't have to be a programmer to work in tech. That's, yeah, really deep. Kalumi, do you have anything to say about misconception you would like to clear up?
I think, as Oyiwale already said, I was also going to say that it's not just about coding, because there's just so many career paths when it comes to tech, and you necessarily don't need to be the programmer that builds the product itself. But having said that, also, I wanted to add that there's this misconception, based on what people see on social media, like a day in life of a tech programmer, and like you're just thinking, oh, it's soft work. I really need to get into this gig, and I would just cross my leg, and I would just be enjoying and collecting a lot of money. But the truth of it is, if you are working in any serious tech position or serious tech company, and this is not just soft work, it's something that takes different types of brain power. It requires some form of resilience. You need to learn a whole lot, like emphasis on a whole lot. There are just so many things out
You are
there.
scaring us.
There are so many things out there that you just need to be aware of. Maybe not becoming proficient in everything, but being aware of them and knowing how to use these tools. So, yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything to add to
Yeah,
that?
I also would want to add to what you said. The irony of things is that you go online and you say transition to tech in 4 weeks, be a tech guru in 4 weeks or 5 weeks, maybe boot camp. And when you join such, all you say is how to download Power BI, how to install this app and that. I think most times you find a lot of people rushing into tech, and then they are in it, but they don't understand what is really going on, because there's the perception that you can transition into tech within a certain period of time. So just like you said, it takes time. Yeah, you also really need to know what you want to do, and then focus on it and have like a grasp about what it's all about, and then you find it easy. So I think I dislike it a lot when I hear transition to tech in 4 weeks, because it makes no sense. And one more thing I would just want to add also is the fact that everyone thinks that if you're not doing tech in the next 5 years, you'll probably have no job again.
Wow, that's really, really important. Thank you very much for adding that. Yeah, still in line with this question, I believe as tech professionals, there are several things that have impacted us in one way or the other. So this one is to you to know if you would narrow all of these things that have impacted us to just one, right? What would you say is this one thing that has impacted you the greatest in your career so far? Okay, if one is hard, maybe two. Let me just make exception for you.
Honestly, I think passion, basically, because I knew what I wanted to do and I just went all out. I just gave it my 100%. The fact that I knew that I needed to have a grasp of what I was doing. So I knew that, okay, you have to. I'm a data analyst, so everything I would say is probably going to be in line with what I do. Yeah, so the impact for me was understanding the business, understanding that you are providing solutions for companies. Yeah, so that was what one thing that I focused on. Another thing that has really helped me so far is confidence. I don't know how, but confidence, there's something about building solutions, having solutions, but not able to sell it out to the people that you're building it for. And I think that's something that has really worked for me over time. The fact that I was able to come up with something and also give it my all and defend it. I think that's what has really helped me so far.
Yeah, thank you very much. Passion and confidence. You have to be passionate about this tech thing. There's no way out. Yeah, Konimi, in 1 minute, just one word that you think, okay, 2 words, since I asked her for 2 words as well, that you think have impacted you the greatest.
Okay, so I would put it in two phases. Pre getting into the professional part of tech, and then while working in it. So pre was being able to talk to someone that had already gone ahead and in similar situation. So because at the point when I was trying to get into it, there was just so many path roads into getting into tech, and I really didn't know which one to choose. But having talked to someone that was already in the field, and then the person suggesting different patrol and also giving opinions on this really helped me put like more laser focus on a specific patrol.
So some kind of mentorship or something.
Exactly,
like that.
exactly. That's really came in handy. For while working, I would say quite resilience in my own line of work. So as a software developer, a software engineer, having the ability to or the patience to like sit through lines of code, understand things, and able to troubleshoot at the same time. So for me, I feel there are a lot of people that could write code, but it's not so many people that sees problem and they are like calm enough to go through this, dissect what is exactly working, what is exactly wrong, and then prefer solution to it. So I think this is something that has really helped me.
Okay, so thank you very much. So we've had passion, confidence, mentorship, and resilience. For me, I would say you have to give it your all, right? Still, maybe your passion that way and determination. As well, you just have to give it your all. This tech is not something, well, make I just try this thing, see. You have to be so intentional about it. You have to be an intentional man when it comes to your transition to tech. So Oyewale, I'll ask you something a little different, right? So with all you know now, with what is happening now, what do you think? Okay, not just what's happening now, but if someone is transitioning to tech or trying to start their first career in tech, their first job whatsoever in tech, what would you say will help them stand out?
um, I would say the first thing is, permit me to just mention something about the previous question, right? Because that's very important. For me, it was not a passion; it was the money.
You are passionate about money now.
I'm saying this because I would say even to now, I'm much more passionate about chemical engineering than tech.
Wow.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm saying that
Very
is because
corrosive statement.
you need. I remember one of the first things is if you go to my department, then there is something that is always we have in our motto as part of the student says make what out of waste. You understand? And the whole idea is building products. That was the main thing that has kept me in tech until now. So there is a very big chance that if I'm going to say what can stand you out in tech, I will have a bit of a bias towards that, right? But at the end of the day, the most important thing is the value that you are very confident and passionate about, because there are so many ways you can enter, you can pass through to get into your first job at tech. But at the basic level, let me say at the fundamental level, it should be something that you actually care about. And that was why I mentioned the other comment that even if it's money you care about, your focus will be on where you can make money in tech. Whether you want to write a program or you want to do marketing or you focus on that. But again, it should be something that over the long time, it's sustainable for you, because you need the energy to be able to continue to push through. You need the knowledge and you have to learn a lot of things. So for me, I would say, if I have to put it in a phrase, I would say optimizing for learning. I'm the kind of person that wants to always learn, wants to always build, and this is where I find more my comfort zone in tech, which is basically building products for people. There is no limit to how much you need to learn about about people that you are building products for.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for that. You said optimizing for learning. You have to be open to learning regularly all the time. You have to be updated with the latest trend, latest technology out there. That's something really key. Yeah, so yeah, I'll move over to you, with the same question with a little adjustment, right? So what do you think will help someone to stand out, someone who is trying to land their first role? And then if you are, this is the adjustment, if you were starting your career journey all over in 2016, right? Like, what would you do differently?
Okay, so I would say one thing that would help you stand out is I would try to put it in two ways. So, what you do before you get your interview, and what you do while you're interviewing or even afterwards. So, while you are looking for an opportunity, of course, your CV has to sell you. So, when you're not there, your CV is there to talk about you. So, as much as possible, get your CV to say what you can do the best of ways. And it's not just about, again, I've just found out that there's so much dependence on tools, and that's why it looks like I've been talking about it a lot. So as much as possible, sell your achievements. So if you don't have any experience, you can volunteer. There are open projects online that you can sign up for, be a part of, create portfolios. Those would actually speak for you. While you are interviewing, one thing that would also help is your mindset. I think if you think beyond tools and have the problem-solving mindset, and that still goes in line with what Oyewale said earlier, the value you're bringing, it's still your mindset, because you know that it goes beyond whatever tools I'm going to build, but then what problem I'm going to be solving for this organization. So whatever company you are interviewing for, you know about their product, you already have like a case study in your head on how you can help solve problem based on the area that you want to focus on. And if I were to start my career again in 2026, honestly, I think I would want to spend time reading up on future innovations, what's going to come up in the next 5 years. Because honestly, when I started out in 2019, I had all the resources. I could have become an AI expert by now. I had everything to be a great person. But no, I'm great. But I had I worked with a Microsoft partner, so everything that I had everything available to be an expert in Microsoft tools. I got opportunities to be part of like an internship, blah blah blah. And so, but I was not. It was just about data for me at the time. But if I were to start again, I would start with data, yes. But this time around, I would ask ChatGPT, my best friend, and other LLMs to know, what is coming up in the next 5 years, so that I can already start preparing now and not wait till that time.
Interesting, interesting. So I think you have to think ahead, right?
Yeah.
To stand out. That's what one thing I'm picking. You have to think ahead. Yeah. Thank you very much for that.
Sorry, I just want to add something to that because just to emphasize that too is the fact that you also need to think about your career in like 20 years, 5 years, at least 5 years ahead. And the reason why I'm saying this is because no matter how much of a value you think you have, you can't properly evaluate that value. So it's the person that wants to hire you, it's the person that wants to pay for those value that can actually evaluate it, right? So what that means is you need to know where you need to put your head. If you're starting a company, and I know this might sound a bit of a privilege, but obviously I also don't want a repeated of things I've experienced or people have experiences. If you join a company and you discover that it's not fitting, look for another one, please, because you can you might be the best programmer and it just happens that you are never going to get the kind of appreciation of valuation you want at your job. It's possible, whether in Nigeria or in Germany. So you need to know, okay, this is what I want, and don't settle until you get it, because that's when you're going to get proper valuation for your values.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Know what you want and don't settle for less.
Mm,
That's really strong.
clock it.
Yeah. Kwelumi, so okay. I think I'll also add this question to your question. So someone started in 2026. What if you were starting your career now? What would you do differently?
So I would put it this way. So I might have a bit of bias for software development. So I might want to give more in that line, but I would also try to generalize it. So uh, as I earlier mentioned, I think the subject of mentorship cannot be overstated. Getting someone in the field that you think that you want to build your career on, and just stepping back a bit on this is the fact that even knowing the field that you want to build your career on, it's something that takes a lot of effort because the tech industry is very, very wide. Like there's so many options, and having those information can be a bit overwhelming. But with getting knowledge on all these different career paths and aligning it with what you would like to do, that's like the first step that I feel like everyone that is transitioning to tech should actually do. So understanding the different career paths and understanding how this fits into what you would like to do. Having said that, then the next step would be to figure out someone in that particular career path that you'd like, that has already gone ahead, that can also, as Itunu said, that's also probably knows where that career path is heading. If it's something that might not last the next 5 years, maybe you should not even bother going into it. Or if it's something that there's definitely hope in it. But to wrap up, if I was to like start my um, software software career paths in this time, I think one of the things I would really like to do would be to understand the basics. So things around understanding foundation of computer science, also understanding things around system architecture, data structures, having a very, very solid foundation. Because one thing I personally just feel like is for the people in software development, the even a lot of things change, but the foundation still remains the foundation. and you can't do without it. If you skip this process, it would likely come to bite you over time. So this foundation is usually, whether you learn it now or later, you would still need to understand this thing.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Say something. The foundation still remains the foundation. You can only build on the foundation, right? You can't build in thin air. So your foundation has to be rock solid. Yeah. Thank you for that. Uh, you spoke about mentorship, and so talking about mentorship. So if there was this one piece of advice you wish you had then when you're trying to break into tech? I mean, you started quite early from school and all, but was that is there any single advice or one piece of advice you wish you had at the time in 30 seconds?
I think it's really related to the last point I said about the foundation. So, as I said earlier, I learned at some point I went out of school to learn Java because I thought I really had a flair for programming, but I didn't understand what I was doing. There was no one to point me to the direction to say, oh, okay, yeah, this is a tool. You can use it for XYZ. I just learned it as every theoretical knowledge we learned in school and eventually didn't become useful. I could sometimes I still look back. I think that was maybe around 2013 or 14 when I did this. I just felt like if I really knew what I was doing at that point in time, I would become like a Java guru. Probably I would be contributing to the whole ecosystem by now. But what that one thing, having a mentor to actually put you right, to tell you about the foundation and then tell you about the things that are possible with this tool, that this is just a tool. It's not, it's a means to an end, not the end itself. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. So, you mentioned something about your best friend, ChatGPT. Yeah. So, my question is, next question is in that line, right? And I'll start with you. So, is AI affecting the way you do the things you do, how you work? Is the introduction of AI, is it changing how you do the things you do?
Of course, I would say yes. There's this project I'm working on, and prior to today or last week, I would have had to go on Visual Studio, maybe with DBT, blah blah blah, trying to write all of the codes, SQL, to be able to create my metric table or metrics model. All of those, I would have been spending lots of time trying to build all of that. But strangely, I just told ChatGPT I want to do this, and then I got all of the queries that I needed. And the only thing I had to do was to debug and to be sure that I asked the right questions. And I had the there's something it's called. So the naming conventions, yes, of what we have in that database is also the same with what ChatGPT is given. Because of course, if you don't have this AI governance thing, you don't want to carry the data of your company into ChatGPT. You get it? So, so I would say that it has really helped a lot because now you don't have to spend so much time on repetitive tasks. You don't have to spend time trying to think of, I know I want to do something, and then you're spending a lot of time doing it. But instead, you can already just tell ChatGPT or maybe Cloud, this is what I want to achieve, and then it gives you something. So it has made work a lot easier. I know there's the fear that it's taking our job, but I think it's only here to enhance our job, to help our work become even more easy so that we can focus on the very important things. Very important things like every company wants a data analyst that is able to ask questions. Why? Why are we making 10% profit? Why can't it be 20%? If based on the data that we have, if we do this, then it's possible for us to have an increase, even higher profit than we make. So I would say that it has helped simplify what we do. However, it has given us even more room to focus on very important things like selling our values, helping companies, performing more diagnostic analysis, more, and then also predicting future even more.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Yeah. something like I got AI. You don't fight AI. AI here to help you do better, increase your productivity, and yeah, as you said, assist you in the things you do, so you can focus on maybe more valuable things. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yewale, how is AI like affecting your day-to-day activities? And then for someone trying to enter into tech, yeah, what would you advise they pay attention to?
So I would say the baseline of the entry, it's a bit difficult or a bit different now. So what I had to do to get my first job, it's probably like 30% of what you need to do now to get your first job. And that's also because everyone knows that the AI is there. So there are, at that time, which is like more than 10 years ago, there are some mistakes I can see that is acceptable on my CV in my code base. But nowadays, if I see it in your code base, I'm just looking at it like, come on. The last thing, the least you can do is just feed this thing to ChatGPT and just make this correction. So that's what it looks like. And what that means is the expectation in terms of productivity at work is way high now. So I mean, for me, let me continue with that first. For me, I basically use AI to do almost everything now. There are some tasks that I look at it like, come on, this is a basic update. You just like launch your codex, feed it into it, put it for Copilot to review it, and you just check it, and that's it. 1 hour, 2 hours, you're done with the task. And of course, there are some that you need to like first understand it, write the code, and you just ask Codex to just write the test or Cloud, whichever one you're using. So that's what it looks like. You have your product, your business people telling you, yeah, this thing used to take 3 days before. But now the expectation is I explained to you in the morning, in the evening, I need a draft. You understand? So that's what it's like at work. And I'm sure there are also people like even doing way better than that than I do presently. But that has been my work structure. So if you're coming into tech, it has to be part of your portfolio. It's just the basic. If you go and look at any job that you're applying for now, they want to be sure that you are already using it. Not you want to use it, but you are already using it, which means you should be able to, even if it's just one or two valuable things that you have been doing with AI. Not that you want to do, but you have been doing with AI already.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. It's a must-have now, right? I remember having a conversation with a colleague, I think 2, 3 weeks ago, and I told him writing code is the easiest part of my work. Figuring out what to do is the difficult part. I could spend 2, 3 days trying to build this, but writing code is easy. I just told her best friend, ChatGPT, just help me do this. Yeah, so yeah, you have to, as you said, AI gives you more opportunity, gives you time to focus on what's more valuable. So yeah.
Sorry. Before you move on, I want to add to because people might have the misconception because I'm a software engineer. I'm not an AI engineer, so which basically means there are people that build those tools, and I'm just using them. So if you actually want to be part of people that build those LLMs and the likes, it's completely different game. You understand? So which means you should have also been building them and not just using them.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Pelumi, this next one is for you. So with AI automating more tasks, making life easier, making tech more and more. Well, but with AI doing what it's doing now, what do you think are important skills someone should have now? And can you think of any skills that you think are no longer so important?
All right. So the way I view AI is it's an amplifier. So, and there's this usual saying where they say like if if you ask God to bless the work of your hand and then you don't have any work, so it's just God times zero, and then you don't get anything out of it. And this is the exact analogy I would use for AI also. So if you don't understand the basic concept of whatever you're doing. And this is like whatever. So whichever tech career paths you have, or even outside it, and then you decide to use AI, it's going to amplify that. Either it amplifies your expertise, or it amplifies your lack of knowledge. It's so true, because I've seen this. I've seen where people that are already, how would I put it? They are outsourcing their understanding to AI, and the AI gives them something they really don't understand what it means, and they can't even correct it because they don't know what the correct thing is. So this is foundation to the question that you asked, like what would be the skills that I would advise anyone to do. It's basically um, understand how to use these tools for AI, as Oyewale said, because you can't actually do without it at this point in time. There's still the notion around maybe it becomes even either more expensive or cheaper, but if it becomes expensive, they would only hand it over to the people that know what they are doing. So, which brings me to the second point. You need to know what you're doing. You need to build yourself in whatever what's it called, career path that you are, and you can actually use AI to shorten your learning curve. So you can use AI to the AI tools to compress the things that maybe you would learn for 4 weeks. It can help you compress it to maybe 2 weeks or even 1 week. And even the access you didn't have before. So let's say certain things were really hard, you had to pay money for them. You can actually curate let's say courses from these tools, and then it helps you understand all the different concepts in that career path that you have. And with that, you basically are someone that knows what is doing, also knows AI to how to use AI to get things done. So
Okay,
yeah.
thank you very much for that. I don't know if we have any questions from the viewers online.
Yeah, we have some questions. So thank you guys. I think we can give you a bit of a break to to drink some water. But thank you to everyone that's joining us online. So we have a few questions. I'm going to jump on something that Oyewale said. So I think he's the best person to answer this question. And then I also have Itunu answer a question. So to Oyewale, you mentioned that you need to sort of have a vision of where your career will be in the next 5 years. So someone is asking that given the AI advancements, do you think data analysis or engineering, in your case software engineering, will still be a sustainable career in say the next 5 or 10 years? You can hold that thought. Then Itunu, your question is, what do you think are the, we've talked about coding, we've talked about AI, but what are some of the soft skills that you have to apply in your everyday life? And what do you think people in the tech space or transitioning need to have as they are going into tech? So, Oyewale.
I would say if you look at the tech industry as software engineering, data engineering industry, blah, 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 it's something that has been in existence for the last 50-something years, at least from my own historical memory. I can still remember some names like 1976. What is going to change, however, is how we do the work. So software engineering is going to stay, and writing code and all of those things, they're still going to stay for the foreseeable future. But when I started like 14 years ago and how I write code today, they are completely different, even though the title is still software engineer. So that's what's going to change over the next year. And I think I'm just going to assume it's the same thing that is applicable to data engineering and data analysis. And I'm just going to make use of one example, right? Because AI is just another tool we have. In the last 2 decades, one of the other tools was also like cloud technology. You understand? Before, as a software engineer, you don't necessarily need to bother about how your applications get deployed. If you can't do that today, you most likely not have a job, even though you are still a software engineer. So I would say those roles, they are still going to exist, but their nature in how we do these things will change. So, for just to mention lastly, one of the things that AI is definitely going to change is most of us as a software engineer, I'm just very specific as software engineer now, we don't have proper product and business understanding. So, which means you're just writing code, you don't even know how your company makes money. So they just come to you, oh, we want to add this feature, we do this, boom. You go to your terminal, you start doing whatever you need to do, you get it done without knowing whether that is actually what should be done or not. So that's going to change because what you are doing now, AI can actually do it better. So what you're supposed to come up with as the human layer, which is the value now, if you don't have that in any organization, yeah, you won't have a job, at least in the next couple of years.
Thank you. So then Itunu, and I also have a question for GFI and Pelumi. So there's one more question here about the challenges and future prospects. So you can speak to the software development, and then you can speak to the data engineering, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay, so I would just also want to talk about the data analytics part. I think the career would always be there. However, there are it's not just going to be data that you know. Maybe you might not see lots of adverts saying you're looking for data analyst. But if you go online now, you are seeing there's web analyst, there's product analyst, there's you said performance analyst, bless you. There's data analyst and automation manager, data analyst and transformation manager, business analyst. So I feel the role is just evolving. So eventually, you just have to move along. Don't just, and that's why we are saying a lot about understanding business and also product. Is my guy, he has already entered my brain. That's what it, honestly, that's where we are now. So if you think it's just about the tools you're learning, then you are really going to miss out a lot. So for someone that is actively in tech already, please, if you are not focusing on the business or the product, you don't know how your company is making money, there's a problem already. Okay, so for soft skills, I would say number one is stakeholder management. You need to know how to interact with your stakeholders, and that's very direct. Another thing is being able to communicate your findings to non-technical guys. That's one question that I know that I answer in every interview. So for you to know that is very important. How do you communicate your findings to a non-technical stakeholder? So even if you're a software engineer or you're a data person and you have worked on analysis, you have built your SQL queries, and you've built your dashboard, and somebody does not understand that if the line is falling, what does it mean? Is it not the shape of the line? They don't get it. So you need to be able to explain your findings to a non-technical person. And communication skills. You can't overemphasize that. You can't say enough about it. You have to know how to communicate. You have to know how to ask questions. You need to know how to be confident about what you have. You built it, own it with your full chest, that is your work, and be able to sell it, be able to give it to whoever has asked you. So I don't think it makes sense that you've spent a lot of time working on a project and you cannot defend it. You cannot present your findings. If you have to make a PowerPoint presentation, you say because you're a technical person, you can't do that. It does not make any sense. So I think that is also very important. I'm trying to say. And then one thing that is learn how to speak the English. I know it's still kind of twisted with confidence, but learn how to speak the English. There's a guy that I know now that's a manager. And he was reporting to me back then in Nigeria. And I can tell that, you see, this guy is just there. But the guy will tell you, he will even go back and go and look at your life to say, Abi, he knows better than me, but he just knows how to speak the English. So learn to put your words together in a way that people can understand. And of course, there's room to always, and there's AI now, so just be able to talk about it, and they know that somehow you'll be able to get it done.
Okay, so speak the English, condense what you're saying that is technical into simple words, and know how to manage your stakeholders. Thank you. So Pelumi and GFI, in just 30 seconds, challenges and opportunities in your field.
Okay, so I'll try to be brief. As Oyewale and Jeffrey has said, coding, AI solves coding currently. And if what you only know how to do is coding, then you have not so much value to any organization. So for the prospects in the industry currently, as I said, AI makes the entry line to programming a bit easier now. So like previously, if you want to prototype, if you want to do proof of concepts, you would need like maybe two teams of engineers to quickly create a product for you that you can show it up to other let's say stakeholders or investors. But now, as someone that doesn't have too much knowledge of programming, you could use these tools to create the prototype. What this translates to is that there would like for me, I feel there will be likely more software engineering jobs, because if more people can get into the part of bringing their ideas as software products, it means that when they get money for this to build this, they would definitely need proper engineers to do it, because the product is not just about coding. You need engineers to think about the system itself, and that's one thing that AI does not do well. So when you're thinking about the prospect, think of what AI cannot do properly and build yourself out there. I really think there will be more prospects, but it will just be for people that position themselves well in these regards.
Yeah, okay, over to me. Challenges, I would say you have to keep learning, right? Something you know 1, 2, 3 years ago that did the magic could become obsolete today. So you just have to keep learning the new things. Also, it can be really, really challenging. You think you know it all, you think you're used to this, you're used to this system, and then all of a sudden there's a better way to do it. And woe be you if you don't know the better way. Woe be tied if you don't know the better. And then opportunities is vast, right? So I would not focus on data engineer. I would say, what are the skills required by a data engineer? You need Python, you need Airflow, you need all of these tools for scheduling tasks and all of it, right? So it's the tool you're focused on learning, right? And then today, as a data engineer, you just have to know cloud. I use maybe AWS more than some of these other things. You just need to know cloud. And then because of these tools you need to know, you can easily transition. I can apply for a cloud engineering role tomorrow, right? I can apply for some other roles just because of the tools that I know about. So if you know these tools, if you are sound in them, there are a lot of opportunities out there, not just as a data engineer, but as a cloud engineer, as maybe also Python developers. I can apply for a Python developer, for as a Python developer. Yeah, so there are a lot of opportunities. Just focus on the tools and the skills, both technical skills and soft skills, and be really good in them, and you see a lot of opportunities. Is that the last question? Because I have one final question
Yeah,
for
that's the
everyone.
last question. We have 3 minutes.
Okay, so one final question I have for everyone. So maybe I go first, but then if for someone transitioning to into tech in the next 6 to 12 months, right? So freestyle in 30 seconds, what final advice would you give to them? Yeah, something I wanted to say before that I didn't say. If you are a job seeker, right? You don't have anything, you just finish your school, you don't know anything about this tech, you're trying to transition into tech. So one thing is networking, right? You have to network properly, because to get this role, of course, also first of all, consistency. You have to keep applying for jobs. A lot of us, I don't know how many applications you've sent, but then a lot of people had to send up to 50 applications before they get one interview. There's no magic about that. You have to be consistent. You have to keep applying, and then you have to you have to also work on your network. There are people who refer people for jobs. I've referred people in my company for jobs. There are other people who refer. So if you have this network, if there's an opening in these are practical steps you can take. If you have people in your circle, people you talk with, people in your network, they could easily refer you for jobs in their company, right? So networking, and then you also have to be prepared. I got my job during my interview. My manager who interviewed me at the time, he said, "Yeah, I've gone through your GitHub code, and with what I saw there, yeah, you can do the job." I already have my GitHub link on my CV, right? So I didn't have any experience as a programmer and all of those, but then my GitHub code, the works I've done were there on GitHub. So if you have there are people who for some positions, they go through your code. what you have. So you also, that will also be a good advantage. Keep building, just be building stuff, be working on stuff, and put it out there for the world to see. Don't sell yourself short, don't dim your light. Just be out there, show it for yourself to see. And then for the student, there's this thing, an advice I wish I had earlier is to start as a working student. It doesn't matter what you're studying, you can get a working position as a data analyst, as a whatever, just build yourself up, and then that is like the easiest entry role I've seen for most people. The easiest way to get into tech, get started as students, and from there on there. But so just keep applying for student opportunities. The pay might not be so crazy, might not be so much as when you do lager and all of that, but then it gives you the basis to get in. So that's just my final advice for someone trying to transition.
Yeah, I think, pardon me in case we go over the time. So I'd say in my own career, the first thing I would probably have advised anyone to do is, because I'm more of a clarity guy. So what that means is, I don't know how to advise someone to get a mentor, because I never really have like a direct mentor, but it helps you a lot. And if I can just say it this way, just look for someone that is doing or has done what you want to do, and just go and meet them for advice. I don't know how that works, right? Because that helps you to know what you need to learn, where you need to learn it, and how you now then need to apply it. And you already said a lot of things about the application itself. The other part, which I have seen from my own experience, which is not necessarily about getting the job, it might also have its effect on your mentorship journey. And of course, it's also very important for networking, is people. So you will be working with people, and if you don't know how to interact with people, if you don't know how to leverage people, if you don't know how to learn from people, you might struggle a lot. Even your networking will struggle. Of course, permit me to use this word, a lot of people that you can tag assholes, they get away with a lot of things, but the reality is that it's not really scalable. You understand? It's not really scalable. And people get jobs without doing an interview. You get referral, you get all of those things. If I can't trust you, then I can't refer you. It's as simple as that. I can't advise you. I can't do all of these things. And there are a lot of books you can do, but for me, most times I always condense it to people. Just look at Galatians 2:20, is it 5:22, the fruit of the spirit. All of those things, you can't really meet anyone that is against someone that is kind. You understand? And you will know that we have colleagues that are not humble, we have colleagues that are not kind. So you see that people struggle with these things. So the point here is, you also need to be someone that someone wants to employ. I've interviewed people before, and you can see the arrogance. It was oozing. And you're like, nah, I'm looking to solve a problem, not to get another problem to team. Last point for me was also what I've seen people struggle with, which has to do with how do you build your portfolio. Again, I'm a bit biased here. You're a church, you're a Christian if you attend a church. If you need to join a working force before you could be able to do some things, you can do it. But if you're in a church, your church does not have a website, build one. It's as simple as that. Your church does not have a proper database, build one. It's still people you're trying to solve a problem. It's still the same, different industry. You can call it the religion industry, but at least you get the basic knowledge of being able to present. You're struggling with your communication, just join a unit in church. Nobody's going to fire you because you can't present very well. And these are transferable skills. And once you master it, trust me, if you're going to pitch, I remember, I'm not a website designer, but when I was looking for a job then, the website of my church, the website of my, when I was serving my NCCF, I built it myself. I built it, I paid for the domain, I paid for everything myself. But through the process, apart from the fact that I built those things, I also learned how to host a website, how to build a website. And it's not different from another website because the processes are basically the same thing. So that's a very soft way you can put whatever you're learning to practice.
Yeah, thank you very much for that portfolio. Thank you. To know in 30 seconds.
Just to
Sorry, go on.
Just to add to what you all said, I did one interview recently, and one thing the interviewer said was, I mean, for me, it's just about the mindset. I'm not so keen about the hard skill because you can always be taught the hard skill. So if you don't know how to use Power BI, and that's what they use, but you have experience with Tableau, you would always figure it out. So have that product mindset, have the business mindset. So if you're trying to get in, maybe trying to get your job, or you're trying to transition, while you also focus time on learning all of these tools, try to look for materials that would help your problem solving skills, that would help you have some sort of mindset that would be analytical mindset, name it, that will be very, very useful for your career. And I think all of those you would also have access to them when you have a mentor, like they've all mentioned. Just, you don't have to look for somebody that has like 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. Look for someone that is close to you, that you know has been in the space for a while, and you can interact with, and the person can guide you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so for me, I would just reiterate what you said about work student job. I think it's something that is really powerful, especially if we are talking about the Germany context, where you are trying to gain German experience, especially if you've not had any experience. I think it's a very, very powerful tool. I myself am like a product of that, because even when I started looking deep into web development, software engineering, the first role I got was as a working student, where I was basically managing a web product for my department. And this is what I basically used to get my professional job. And I think people should not overlook this particular avenue. If you see an opportunity, it might not be paying that much. I remember that time I was actually doing this work student, and I was doing other jobs with it just to augment, but I knew the value it was going to bring to me. And lastly, I would also say try to look at the things that many people are running away from, because this particular work student that I just mentioned, it was open for, let's say, 6 months. No one was applying for it. But then during that 6 months, I was learning how to work with that particular tool that was needed for that work student. And basically, that's what got me the entry. It was not like I was the best out there or whatsoever, but everyone was running away from it. And I basically learned it and then applied it. So
Yeah, thank you very much. So we've come to the end of this program. Thank you for all that you've discussed. Thank you for your time. We appreciate, and I hope someone out there hears this and is motivated and take the very first steps into their transition in tech. So Sister Itunu, can you pray for us? Why we just end up?
Father, we thank you. We give you praise for this opportunity. We ask, oh God, the fact for everyone trusting you for jobs. We ask that you provide in the name of Jesus. We ask for anyone that is finding some things difficult. We ask that you provide clarity for them. Give them directions, oh God, and let your name be praised. Let us receive testimonies from this event. In Jesus' mighty name we've prayed.
Amen. Thank you very much.